Right. Everyone, welcome to the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board meeting. Are there any apologies? Being none, move on.
Joyce.
Oh,
It's all down.
a late apology from Joyce Bridge.
Well, no, she's not on board. Joyce is not.
It's in public forum. I was incorrect.
So there's no apologies for the board.
On this meeting. Go on, Laura. You went through public forum. I'll just remind them that they have 5 minutes to speak. So, first off, is Sally Davis, speaking on behalf of the Tairua Information Centre. Good morning, Sally.
Good morning, Warwick. Morning, councillors. I am here in my capacity as chair of the Tairua Information Centre, and there are a couple of issues that are of particular interest to us. One is the renewal of our lease, which I understand is an item later, and I just want to make it clear that we have been working well with the staff at TCDC in relation to, first of all, renewing that lease, but secondly, working towards relocating our services to a new purpose-built building, hopefully somewhere along the main road in the proximity of the public toilets. There is work to be done, quite a lot of work to be done in relation to rezoning of the land, we understand, to enable us to locate a building there. And given that we are only getting hopefully a 2-year lease, it's obvious that we would like to get on with that as soon as possible. And we need to work closely with the staff to understand what the constraints are and how we can work together to overcome those. The second thing is funding, and we're hopeful that you are going to renew our funding for to continue our services. We understand we were the only group to put forward a proposal to continue, and I think we do a very good service, and I hope you agree. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I also forgot to put in Eve Roper's apology, our Information Centre manager. She's taking her husband to hospital today to have a knee operation.
Okay, thank you, Sally. Joyce, we have an apology for Joyce, unless you're going to speak on behalf. No, you're not going to speak on behalf of Joyce? Yes. You are?
Yes. Sure.
Welcome.
Okay. Morning. How are you?
Would you like to come up here and sit amongst the?
Basically, I come to say thank you very much for your support in helping us to get the drainage done on the Pepe Loop and to get the bundle finished. And we're very pleased with the result. I draw up a report that I will leave with you, both the financial one and how the whole work was done. And I know Tony will comment on it, but we were very pleased with the work that Cam did and his team. It was really quite, not having been involved in businesses, anything remotely like it. It was lovely to see the rapport between them and the way they just sort of nodded heads at each other, and we can got it all done. It was really good to see. And at one stage, I saw for myself the man get off the machine that was spreading all the soil. He got out his tape measure, he measured the width, because that was one of the specifications that had to be yay wide, and how high. I saw him do it. And so I was really, for me, that sort of really said how careful they were being and sticking to the rules. So with that, I'll hand over to Tony to comment further.
Yeah, the report's here, but basically the Pepe Loop Walk that Walk Tairua created some years ago has been very successful, used by lots and lots of people. The problem is in the winter there's one stretch over the far side by Point Pepe, which goes over dockland, which is not very well drained, so it puts people off being able to do the walk in the winter because it gets boggy. So we've been battling for 2 years through various organisations to try and get a bonded walk along the edge of the estuary, so people can walk, enjoy the walk all year round. And so suddenly all the stars seem to line up in the right time. With you guys and with various things. So we were able to do it earlier this year. We needed to get it done because it meant going over private property with diggers and dockland and also council ground, and we didn't want to damage all that into wet soil. So we were working closely with the people doing the development up at the Azimuth estate, and we were very lucky to come up with quite favourable terms for 3 loads of topsoil, 21 cubic metres. So we worked out how long we wanted the walkway to go, how wide. It was about 60 metres, but vital was putting good drainage in to make sure the rest of the reserve could drain away under the bund and also improve that area that's always been not very usable in the winter. So all those things came together, and key to it was the fact that Chum excavators just lived over, literally over the road to the walkway, and he and his partner Margaret were very helpful with everything they did. We also were grateful to Viola boys over at the Viola water treatment plant who enabled us to dump the soil on there, packed, ready to go. And then the neighbours were vital in this. Dennis, who lives next door to the walkway, moved a lot of his raised garden boxes so that the digger could literally get straight across from his house down that narrow walkway so that it minimised all damage. So he put a lot of effort into that. And another neighbour who was clued up on drainage worked with us to work out the best way of doing it. So all those things worked together, and we finished up with a walkway that does work. You can still walk on there now, even with all this rain. And the drainage works fantastic. It drains everything away. I guess the long and short of it all is that we use local people, local suppliers for all the drain flow and drainage fittings and all that sort of stuff. And we did all that and managed to get the job done with minimum damage to anybody. But also it made we put the walkway right along the edge of the estuary. By doing this, it keeps people literally on track so they don't start wandering up the reserve and over private property and invading people's privacy. So it defined the footpath as well. So that it was just a good thing to get done, and we're glad we've been able to do it. But of course, none of this could have happened without the grant of $5,000 you guys gave to us. So we just want to say thank you very much, because it's just shows how communities can do everything together to make something come out. So thank you.
Thank you, Tony. On that, Jerry.
All right.
Thank you.
I was going to say any questions.
Well done. It was a good result.
Yes,
It should be.
Thank you, guys.
I'll leave these for Eileen, because 5 lanes, one of the financial, and you'll see in the financial report, we had to put in money from our own.
Yeah, we did still need to use our own finance.
You know.
Because
Thank you.
the drainage costs more than the first got. There you go. Thank you.
Joe, good morning.
Are they going there or?
The camera was not, yeah, it wasn't showing the heavy faces. Yeah.
A bit chilly and Gary got their photos on.
I don't get it. Yes.
Thank you, mate.
Yes, thank you.
Pack her up.
Thanks, Jeff.
Morning.
Right, good morning. I'm here just to give you an update, Julie, about 2 of the projects that we've got on the go. First one is our pontoon. So we can inform you that the resource consent has been granted. We applied to have some of the extra fees waived, and little help from one of our local friends that did occur. So had close to $4,500 waived. They didn't waive the fee for the deposit for the resource consent or for the environmental report. So we didn't get that back, but we're on our way now. Now we have to purchase the pontoon, which is $5,000. We've already got some donations in and setting up a Give a Little page. So that will be advertised hopefully this week once we get it all validated. So that again has come about because of the grants that we received. Community boards, so thank you for that. Still a way to go. We'll get there hopefully before this summer.
Yeah, I don't think there's a
So
lot of
you're
use for
sorry.
it today.
What's that?
Not a lot of use for it today.
No. And the other thing, the other update is just in regards to our town upgrade. We had hoped to get staff paper at this meeting, but apparently there are other things that have been prioritised. Many of you will know that we set up a meeting with NZTA about the Pepe bridge replacement. It was really successful, I felt. 11 staff members came, they set up great posters. They clocked 170 people coming in the doors. So there was a really good opportunity to speak personally with the staff and to leave suggestions. I know they went away with a whole box full of suggestions. Part of the reason for setting that meeting up was because there were a lot of sort of rumours going around town about what might be built and what might not be built. And people were getting quite concerned. So I felt that that was really worthwhile having that meeting. Yes.
The rumours, oh yeah.
Well, yeah, they had concept plans available. The design and the build is yet to be contracted out. So yes, there are concerns. There's not a lot of room for what they really want to do, but hopefully there are enough people around to sort out that problem.
I think one of the issues has been the concept plans being confused with build plans.
Yeah, that's right.
If people had their ears open at that meeting, they would have heard that that was a concept plan. I heard it a number of times. The reason why we're sort of linking that with the town upgrade project is we didn't know how much that would dovetail into the town upgrade project. And in fact, they do have to look at the infrastructure and the services that run through under the bridge. So all of that will have to be, I suppose, determine whether they've got to replace, reuse, whatever. So I think that does sort of dovetail a little bit into our upgrade project, which we will be off the ground this year. Yeah, so that's just my update.
One of the things I forgot to ask Joe, you might have, is what is running under the bridge? Awful. I know there's all sorts, but do you know what the all sorts are?
They didn't seem to know that day.
Power, telephone, water,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just all
Sewage.
Yes,
the whole lot.
there's a lot for the internet cabling.
Can I ask a couple of questions? The consent, is it an annual fee?
For the pontoon?
Yeah.
No.
So it's not one off, when those that have got, I had a swing mooring out there in the harbour for many, many years. I paid an annual consent fee out there and mooring inspection fees.
You do that.
Have they made that clear to you? You're going to have that sort of
No,
charge?
the only hint about anything like that is it needs a 3-yearly inspection. I talked to Tony from Pauanui, who helped to put the Pauanui pontoon in. He hasn't heard anything about the 3-yearly inspection yet, and I think that pontoon might have been in.
10 years,
Yeah.
at least.
So there's been no comeback on that. The other thing is, the first set of paperwork that we had to fill out was for a mooring, and then they said that wasn't correct, and then we filled out another set of paperwork for a structure. So I don't know if that makes a difference, but they haven't talked about any annual fee or ongoing fees.
Second question was maintenance. Maintenance of this pontoon. How are you going to reduce it?
How are we going to reduce it?
Address it?
Address it? We haven't really talked about that. It won't need a lot of maintenance. And it's been around for quite a long time now. It's second hand. It will scrub up once in a while.
Just
It's
through
pretty solid.
the chair, I think from the car, when they pull it out once every so often and some repairs down in the guard. Right on, and then they did the ladder on it. And with that, so that's,
Yeah, the Ocean Sports Club did that.
Yeah.
because it belongs to them.
Water blast.
there's not much maintenance.
At low tide, it'll be sitting out of the water a bit, so you can scrub up.
That water blast, then give it a blast.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you, Joe. Our next speaker is Neil Paulson. Morning, Neil.
Morning, how are you? I'm good. And I'll see if I can just. Around. Yeah. Show me what's there. Just one for each person. Actually, how many have you got? Let me just take a summary at the end because I think I'm short. Someone can have photos without a summary. Thank you for Councillor for allowing me to speak here today. I'm new to public speaking. I feel almost one on trial, keep with my pace. I've looked at the required protocol 5 minutes, no hackers. And I'm going to rely heavily on my notes. My security was away, and I could have been a doctor because my handwriting is illegible. My handwriting. Yeah, so I'm here to talk about a track on Ocean Beach Reserve and extending even further. I just voiced to you today a new sound to what may be an old tune, a track, but it's not just a track. My name is Neil Paulson. I'm retired sheep and beef farmer. Living with my wife Linda now, here 3 years residing at Pauanui. I've been holidaying here since for over half a century. Also event director of South End Reserve Park Run, a new event we've got going here at Pauanui. Thank you for council and particularly Kirsten Scarrett. Your name wrong for the approval of Park Run and helping me get that up and running. It's a pun in a timely manner. Also, speaking of thanks, I commend council for their work done on getting the facilitating the consents and everything on trailways. Good job for that. I remember as a boy, hearing about the vision of the trailway extending all the way to Tairua, and I said to myself, and one day I'll hold a marathon on that track. And that was before even half marathon first thing. Believe it or not, I am old. Even though I don't look like it. Old enough to remember when Mr. Ian Hubble was also the policeman of Pāuanui, and I was this story there, but I won't because I was now on topic. My point is, the trailway tracks is not just a dream of Mr. Hopper, but a shared vision of many. Link the trailway to mountain trails, to forestry tracks, to Tairua, the ocean beach and estuary tracks. It's just a continuation and an implementation of a dream set in place over 50 years ago. Part of that dream of development was large green open spaces, landscape and seascape combining. Hey, you know the story. That's what I want to talk about. Starting off with a track along the ocean beach reserve itself, next to the sand dunes. I'm not talking about reinventing the wheel here, just enhancing vision and scope of what's happening, what's actually already in place. And if I could, before I present my case, so to speak, did you know Tairua has become the running destination of the Coromandel, perhaps of the Waikato, even perhaps of New Zealand, if I could hear me out. Now hosting 6 events: the King of the Mountain, Pāuanui Half Marathon, Park Run, which is an event taking place every week, and part of Aramis Trail Series, and thanks to local legend athlete Mark Thompson, 2 more new events coming to the scene with loops around the lake and another marathon, nearly marathon trail event on the day before the half marathon run. And what that got to do with it. And I say it's all got to do with what happens on the tracks. Taupo boasts the event centre. Oh, am I going too long? Sorry, sir. I bought part run. Didn't tell myself before this. I bought part run Pāuanui with the intention of promoting a strong community spirit amongst the long community. Each week I get people coming to me thanking me for the event, and that's unexpected. We have, so by maximum participation, 184, we help scale down the Ocean Beach Reserve every Saturday. I feel not only a desire to enhance the reserve area, but also part of the responsibility to also do that. Creating a smooth, resilient track. I'm really too late, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, finish off, but I'm just saying that perhaps what you should do is come to a network meeting. And then you have much more time to put this to.
Only a couple of minutes. Well, can I just get to the photo straight away in some way?
Well, it's best to come to the networking meeting and bring your whole proposal, because then we can also have park staff present for them to be part of that discussion as well. So we can organise that for you to come to the July networking meeting if you like. We can send, if you give us, you've got your details there, we can send you that email and set up a time for you to come and speak with the board and bring your whole proposal to them.
Well, you put a lot of work into this, my friend, so.
Yeah,
To try and condense it into 5 minutes is
So I thought I could have achieved that. All right, do you want me just to stop or just go to the straight summary?
But I would suggest you see Eileen and get a time for the networking, and then, we can put our heart into this. You can put your heart into it as well.
Okay.
All right.
Would you like to keep the hangouts on the meantime?
Yeah, we do.
Thank you, everyone.
Sorry, Neil. Good night, Neil.
Cheers, Gary.
Thank you. Okay. So I'll put the motion that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives Shelley Davis, Cherry and Tony, Joe Finnis and Neil as speakers of the public forum. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Yep. Here in favour? Aye. Thank you very much. Carried. Are there any late urgent items? There being none, are there any conflicts of interest? There being none, item 1.6, minutes for confirmation. Can I have a move and a second, please?
Yeah, I'm happy to move.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Are there any amendments or corrections? There being none, I put the motion that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board confirms the 28th of April 2025 Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board minutes as a true and correct record proceedings. All in favour?
Aye.
Any against? Carried. Thank you. 2.1, Tairua and Pāuanui Information Centre funding and operations. Can I have a move and a second to receive this report?
Yes,
Second? Yep. Questions?
Who's gonna,
Mr. Cole.
speak to it?
Yeah.
Any points you want to raise, yes?
No, the only thing I've just clarify is that the funding agreement is only for 2 years to bring us back in line with the LTP. So it will go through to 2027. Both the Pāuanui and the Tairua Information Centres are great operators. Their reporting to council and structure of how they operate are really good. And so the recommendation would be to go with the current operators. Or, there was only one application for each centre. If you're wanting to continue on with funding information centres, then they would be great operators. With that's our recommendation.
Question, are those incorporated societies, those groups?
They do a great job. Are there any other questions? Nothing? I shall put the motion that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the Tairua and Pāuanui Information Centre funding and operation approval report dated 27th May 2025. It approves the expression of interest for the Tairua Information Centre from the Tairua Information and Community Services Society and approves the expression of interest for the Pāuanui Information Centre from Experience Pāuanui Incorporated. All in favour?
Aye.
Any against? Thank you. 2.2. New lease. Tairua Information and Community Services Society Incorporated. Any questions?
Who's speaking to this?
Nicole's online.
Good morning, board. I am online, but I'm actually not here in an official capacity as I'm still on leave. So I'm sorry I won't be talking to this report. I understood Steve Green would be speaking to this.
that's pretty self-explanatory.
You guys happy with it all?
Yeah,
And it gives, just following on from what Sally said, it gives the Tairua Information Community Services Society time to sort through with council staff some alternatives.
a little bit of breathing space.
Yes.
No.
But that's sometimes add some staff to help you, doesn't it, Sally?
Yes,
So just the 2-year terms, correct?
Yeah.
Prefer longer, we wanted 5 years, just to be clear.
I worry about time limit.
Yeah.
You happy?
Just extend it.
okay, no further questions? I put the motion that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the new lease, Tairua Information and Community Services Society Incorporated, report dated 1 May 2025. Recommends the council that it approve the granting of a new lease to the Tairua Information and Community Services Society Incorporated for the part of the Tairua Library located at 2 Manaia Road. Have a movement?
Yes, so there's
Second, please. Put the motion. All in favour? Aye.
Aye.
Against? Two?
Good luck.
Where's Steve?
No? Item 2.3, discretionary funds.
Okay, I take the report has been read. It's just a request from the Pāuanui Ratepayers Association for bait stations and bait. Would like to point out that on page 33, the 5 has been missed off the table. It should say that the balance remaining in your discretionary fund is $305 if you approve the whole 966.
And it's funding drops. It's not.
1st of July.
That's one hanging on to it. It's a good use for the money.
Poor old bellies.
Yeah, they're great in their life place, and that's not New Zealand.
I'll move this.
Yeah, seconding?
Yep.
Thank you. I'll put the motion that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receive the discretionary fund request report dated 5th of May 2025 and approves following grant the 24-25 Tairua-Pāuanui discretionary budget. All in favour?
Aye.
Yes. Thank you. Hang on, CAPEX. 3.1.
Lucas.
Yes, yes. Yeah. I think Luke.
Good morning. So today, just presenting the standard CAPEX report for Tairua-Pāuanui. There is nothing from me to really call out at this point, just noting we do have an item later in the public executed around the toilet engine. So I think we should set that go to the project for a cut domain.
Yep. All right.
So we just tick through them, shall we?
Yeah.
Most got a question on the fifth.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Luke. Thanks for coming along. It's just communication, really. The renovation of the existing scrubber.
Yes.
Is it going back into Pāuanui? Because they've got a new one put in there. Plus, it's just to go back in there as well.
So So the idea is that we build resilience in the system by having two.
Right.
So we're renovating the old one.
Yeah.
And that'll be there ready for use at peak times
Yeah.
alongside the new one.
Right. And that looks like it's going to be in there by June 2025. Is that right?
They're working on it at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
When we had that visit there, Terry, they showed us basically what they were doing.
But they're doing, yeah.
Yeah, and it made sense.
Okay, it's cool. The tank's done, I see the roof.
Yes. Yes.
I see the bollards are out there. What's the Tairua Cemetery? When I put that row of bollards in, what's the plan there?
Good question. My understanding is that it is a standard renewal, but I can get some information on that for you if you like. That's been delivered direct from the cemetery team.
Yeah, it's quite, well, I knew it was coming, but I don't understand. I mean, for a while there was a gate installed, which on Anzac Day was quite sitting there like a, but nothing, it had no purpose. And now I see there's a row of bollards lined up with it. And they literally cut off half that area.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what the future they're going to bring this out through here. Or instead of going, they have been progressing towards the main state highway over the years. Maybe it's going to be an extreme right-hand turn into it.
I can find out and I can get some feedback from this cemeteries.
Thank you, Luke. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, probably nosy. It looks quite strange out here now.
Couple of questions, just again, just to go through this, the Pāuanui Community Board playground renewals. Is that depreciation funded?
Yeah, so it's standard renewal, so it'll be funded through the depreciation.
So is it the 31 grand is going to be spent there that they're just doing in stages and going to push into the new financial year, is that right?
Yeah, it is. So the supply of the equipment took a bit longer than anticipated, just availability, and so we'll go over the financial year, but it will get done by September.
And nothing else, just ask about the Pāuanui Skate Park, any that's been deferred is decided?
I think one of the things that's next year, scheduled to start is next in the LK. So yeah, I think actually my PM that's here today will be
Right.
Deferred. Like everything else.
Yeah. Well, delay. Okay, and just the other one, just around the Tairua-Pāuanui grant consenting. Where were we with that? You say it's project's complete, we've got the consent.
Yep.
Any work to be done there?
It's purely a consent project, so they've got the consent, that's the work done.
That's the work done.
Yeah.
And how long does that consent run for, do you know?
Don't know the specific details, and Briar was here, but she's popped away. I can find out.
Lots of to be. That's why I rolled managed to.
Yeah, deep pockets for that stuff.
Any further discussion on the CAPEX?
So, pretty good, nothing else?
Oh, proclamation that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the Tairua Safety Program projects 24-25 and the other information updates report dated 22nd of May 2025. Can I have a mover and a second, please?
Yeah.
Second up. Yeah. Okay, all in favour?
Aye.
3.2, the chairpersons, I have not provided a written report. I had a couple of verbal ones. I attended the meeting of the All Committee just a week or so ago. And I note that they've received their lease agreement once again. I don't know how many years ago the council decided to do a review on the rents and charges and nothing has happened. So here they are again, they've got their lease agreement. For this band of, I call them caretakers, because that's all they are. They've been slugged again, once again, with charges, lease agreements for a council asset. I know it's a hardy thing, I keep bringing it up. I'd love to know what any council are going to address this.
Didn't we pass something to say that we wanted to address it?
And the review going on.
That's good.
Sorry, yes?
Yeah, through the chair. So councillors asked for all of the grant policies to be reviewed. They did ask that some time ago. They have been reviewed. They have been through the boards for some feedback. They're all written in draft. There was one remaining policy, which is actually the one that you're referring to, having to do with halls, that has just taken a little bit longer for the property team to work some of that out. But I was in a meeting a week or 2 weeks ago where we now have an agreed path forward. The next step is a workshop with councillors, which is intended to be June or July. And then when everyone's happy with that, we'll then go out for what's proposed to be targeted engagement for those grant recipients, just to check if they've got any feedback. And then we should have a new policy in place. I don't want to say ahead of Christmas, but certainly in time for the next LTP, because all the changes will need to take place for the next LTP. So that's the rough time frame that we're working on, acknowledging that it's taking longer than you would have expected.
Should the hall not pay any money until that rears down? Is that the easy way?
They did that last year and they fell into a bit of a.
The board do give them a grant every year with their operation expenses.
Have we done that this year?
So, yeah.
It's the ridiculous money go round, which probably costs more money to actually pay
Administration.
So
and administration.
just very
Frustration.
I think we need to get Doge involved.
through the chair on that point, the proposal will be to make changes in the next LTP to how those things are structured to prevent the money going. So it's been heard loud and clear, but we wouldn't be able to make those changes anyway until the LTP, because the LTP is where you can set changes in the budget and how things are budgeted.
My concern, and I know I've brought this up before, and I used the case of the Hikawai Hall. They have never had a lease. That hall is, goodness gracious me, it's very, very old.
Yeah.
Older than that. That's all. They say they've never had a lease. They, to my knowledge, they don't pay any insurance rates. They get a grant. and they're not an incorporated society. So from my understanding, they should not be receiving a grant because they're not incorporated. But that's still going around.
Yeah, but that was a discussion though, wasn't it? Why do they need to be incorporated society and somebody just booking?
Well, they can renege. They don't want to be. But I think I mean, they should not be, from what I've been told, they should not be receiving money from council because there's no
Check and balance.
yeah, there's no well, it's not legal. But it's been operating like that, and how many else on the peninsula are doing the same?
Well, that's the problem. They're saying these volunteer groups are running a hall, which is most probably provided by the government back in the day. And all they want to do is run events in it. They don't want an organised society to have a booking for a hall. They just want to use the hall, make the hall look after the council and carry on and do it. But there's so much bureaucracy around it, it's just crazy.
So all those things will get tidied up. Will get tidied up.
Yeah, okay.
We've got a full notice of that comment.
Yes.
Tidy it up.
They'll come back.
They say this year they're going to address it.
I'll go through the timeframe again. So we should have we now have a draft. It'll go to the council in June or July. And then if the council's happy with it, it will go for targeted discussions with the recipient groups to check they're comfortable. And then October, November, December, sometime the decision report on the new grants policies. And that will give everyone time to prepare for the next LTP and to make those changes.
It's just got to be small amendment. Hasn't it?
Can you give us some guide on the outcomes or the direction of policy? Is it aligning itself with where our direction's going, or are we going to turn a corner down the road and say, I ain't going to say?
Through the chair, what you've just described is the direction that we're trying to head in. And so that last policy, the 6 or 7 of them, but that one around halls is drafted in that way. And we'll see it soon.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I have one other item that, and I brought this up. My good friend here, Eileen, about the skateboards, the bikes, and scooters barreling down a footpath in the middle of the town. And I'm being told that there is no bylaw. Okay.
So scooters,
stop it.
skateboards, etc., are not banned from the footpath. So we cannot put signage there to ban them when it is not part of the bylaw.
And yet we used to have it. Some years ago, we had it written there.
Hasn't been in there since 2017.
So my suggestion is we put the signage back there, put the word please.
That's exactly what's going through my head.
It's only a matter of time, and we're going to have one of our elderly people not A-OK by one of these kids coming, because of that natural ramp coming down there. They barrel down, they leave the coffee shop area, and they come down there, and they don't care. And when you speak to them, they just give you a mouthful.
Yeah, it's a bit unfair. Actually, some of the kids do, and they do but some don't, and yeah,
Well, it's the ones that don't.
I agree. Not all bad though, just keep that in mind.
You're a school teacher.
Do we have to make our own stencil up? I mean, you go out to Karakia and their footpaths and Tairua have signage.
because their bylaw probably bans.
Well, I'm just saying.
So we can, I can ask
Well,
the clients
that's
team
one
about.
Right in the car, they just go on footpath.
They're not banning.
We had one old lady hit on the pedestrian crossing with one of these motorised skateboarders on the road, not the footpath.
Yeah.
But the kids normally pretty good. If the footpath's clear, often you'll see them come down, so. If it's really busy, it's too hard for them to skate, so they normally go and find somewhere else to go. So I don't know what the right answer is, but.
Well, the issue is just as much adults riding bikes down footpath as it is kids.
Yeah, well, see, when you ban bikes, then the 3-year-old is being pushed by the parents and the bike's not included. So, you know, it's just, I don't know how to fix it.
Something that says, I think Warwick's on the right track. The sign that says, please dismount from bike, scooter or whatever. Just in that area.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give it a go.
Can I have a move in a second of my
Yes.
verbal report? Thank you, all in favour? I'm not being against.
Failed to let I second it.
It's harder than the whole.
Action schedule,
Okay, so I'll take the action schedule as being read. Is there any comments, any questions?
I'll move that the Tairua-Pāuanui Community Board receives the action schedule dated 13th of May 2025. Can I have a move in a second?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. In favour? Yeah.
Can I just ask a question though? On the utilities team advised that there's capacity of the plant, here it's capacity. And can Luke, I don't know, tell us what is the capacity? Is it 200, 300, 500 houses? Can they give us an idea of that capacity?
The information that I got from the utilities team, it's actually cubic meters.
They measure in cubic meters.
Cubic meters, yeah.
And can that be broken down to?
I can get that information.
Yeah, that'd be good to know.
Yeah.
One of the issues trying to work it out there is if you've got 10 families in a batch.
There'll be a,
There's a hell of a lot of cubic meters coming out of that particular building.
yeah, but they've got the, the demand over Christmas and during the year, they've got some idea of working it out. It'd be good to know.
I can get those figures. from utilities team.
They got pretty close to the number.
Depends how much rain there is too.
Yeah.
Well, just thinking about expansion, those wanting to build houses, need an understanding what's available, what's the capacity for plants for the future. And we start thinking about another one.
What?
We just need to understand what.
You're not here for the scrap with this one.
Sorry?
You're not here for the scrap with this one.
Yes, it was. Yeah. I actually built it for this one.
Good. Been moved and seconded. Action schedule.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Into. Kind of true.
Yeah, so everybody can work.
Are we going to, is a meeting? I'll
Yeah.
move.
We move public to exclude. I'll second.